Within these three geographical areas, two main forms of bottlenose dolphins exist, offshore and inland forms. These dolphins may be differentiated by skull and body measurements and blood characteristics. With respect to the change in population distribution over time, the current bottlenose dolphin distribution is quite similar to the historic patterns, as they are relatively new species with the first forms only appearing 5 million years ago. There is also evidence of homologous structures in bottlenose dolphins, as ancestral relations to numerous species of land-dwelling mammals has resulted in similarly structured organs and limbs, however, often serving different functions. The fins in dolphins and limbs in tetrapods are an example of homologous organs. They were derived from locomotive organs and common ancestors of vertebrates, and they share many developmental processes and genetic networks. Another example includes the structural similarities of a dolphin's flipper and a bat's wing, providing evidence of a common evolutionary ancestor despite the fact that these limbs serve entirely different purposes. An example of an analogous structure in the species Tursiops truncatus includes the fins of fish and the flippers of a dolphin, as they have the same function, propulsion through water, although they share no common ancestor and have an entirely different anatomical makeup. The early embryonic stages of bottlenose dolphins show a pair of protruded hind limbs which soon disappear, as they are no longer required in an aquatic environment. In addition to this, the existence of a pair of small pelvic bones is known to nearly all cetacea that lie far apart from the vertebral column on both sides of the genital opening. Both of these structures are no longer used or required. These structures are relatively difficult to observe, and once again, because they have no apparent function, they are classified as a vestigial structure, as they are no longer used, and therefore are simply the remnants of mesonotrid organisms from which they initially evolved. The identification of a species based on its taxonomic classification, the observation of physical, functional, and psychological changes as a result of random variations and mutations, and the lengthy and specific determination of a sexual mate with reference to the Tursiops truncatus outline the gradual and constant impact of the forces of natural selection on this species. This, coupled with the examination of the distribution of bottlenose dolphins geographically and through geological time, the study of the presence of vestigial, homologous, and analogous structures, demonstrate the evolutionary linkage to other organisms and provide insight into the various stages in the evolution of the Tursiops truncatus to its modern state.
Created using Powtoon.